Okay, well, welcome back to another episode of Caffeine Fueled Ventures. We've got a really interesting one for you today. It's a highly contested, I think, topic. So hopefully we can give you a bit of clarity as we go through. Today we're going to talk about free shipping, whether or not you should offer it or not on your site. So just to kick off then, please like, comment, subscribe, depending on what platform you're listening to us on, whether you're on YouTube or over with us on podcasts. I will talk about a discount that we give to our coffee at the end of the show. But for now, I will stop chitter-chattering and hand over to Jake.
All right. Yeah. Hey, so we are going to make an effort here, given last week's episode being such a mammoth episode. We are going to try and keep this one to be a little shorter, so bear with us if it feels like we're flying through. And for those on YouTube, welcome. You can see my ugly mug again. We have got the lighting working. Boom, boom. There we go. All right. So as Rory said, let's quickly level set. We will be discussing free shipping. The focus here, though, is going to be for the direct-to-consumer style brands, primarily, obviously focusing on those that are selling physical goods. There are ultimately free shipping doesn't really apply if you're selling a digital product per se. So that's why we'll be focusing on that. We'll focus on the direct-to-consumer style brands because that's where we have a little bit of expertise, but also 9 times out of 10, not always true, you would expect to have a slightly higher margin to play with there than if you're just retail arbitraging, shall we say. So I think that kind of sets the basis. Let's focus in. So, and last clarifying point there, I suppose, actually would be we won't be covering returns here today. We will cover those in a separate topic. This is talking about free shipping from you to the consumer, not from the consumer back to you when they hate your product or your product broke. So, yeah, focusing in. So all in, ultimately, I think what you have to realize here is it has become a bit of a mammoth monster, this one. Free shipping is definitely, like Rory says, one of those issues that pretty much every brand struggles with, trying to work out whether it's the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, should they set some sort of a limit, etc., right? And I'm going to put part of the blame on this at Amazon's door, and totally off script here. So I'm flying and saying I think Amazon have conditioned us as consumers to believe this. They are not alone, but I do believe they are probably the largest catalyst in the mix on this. Ultimately, as a consumer, I'm not complaining. I love it. As a brand, Amazon, ouch, but thanks. Ultimately, though, as we push forward, as I say, Amazon have conditioned us to some extent, and we have a bit of an analysis here. Some industries, some markets will simply expect it. Others won't, but some places, where a consumer is going, they are going to expect free shipping on a certain type of thing. Now, my example, in my mind, if I'm ever shopping for car parts, I'm basically never expecting to pay shipping. Now, whether that's right or wrong, whether that's what the most of the industry do, that's just my take. If I want to buy a car part, I am 9 times out of 10 looking for free shipping. I am not paying £3 shipping with my £10 wiper blades, put it that way. So the analysis we've been able to find here, though, is Small Business Trends, the online analysis firm, suggest that around 60% of online shoppers are expecting free shipping when they come to a store. And we have around 80% of shoppers expecting there to be free shipping over a certain dollar amount. Now, they didn't go into specifics about the dollar amount, but ultimately what we're talking here is they expect to see on the site free shipping over a certain threshold, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit further down. My example, as I say, I expect free shipping on car parts. However, I don't typically expect free shipping in the food sector, right? If I'm on a Tesco's, Sainsbury's style website, for some reason, in my mind, although I know they do have free shipping options, I also know that often, certain delivery slots are going to cost you a certain thing. And I think that's because, you're getting a specific delivery window, right? So ultimately, I think that's why I kind of get my head around the fact that it's going to cost me something. So that's just my example. Now, cover off competition, right? Free shipping and your competition. Now, we have found, and others I know, if your competition are offering free shipping, I think it's hard to not feel like you need to offer free shipping ultimately, right? If you look at, especially if you look at multiple competitors in your industry, not just one anomaly, but if you've got 4 or 5 other competitors that are all offering free shipping, ultimately it feels like there is a requirement here to do so. But we're telling you, just because your competitors do, doesn't mean you have to, right? You definitely need to make the decision that is right for your business. Now, that might mean that, yes, okay, you do have to offer free shipping in order to compete with your competitors, but you also need to be aware of what that does to your margins, etc. So, the other thing to consider is not just whether your competitors are offering it, but also based on the value of your product or your average order value, shall we say, what does that shipping cost feel like? If you are offering fidget spinners, right? You're selling fidget spinners and you're selling them singles, not boxes. We're talking single fidget spinners that are, let's say, £3. I haven't bought a fidget spinner, I think, online ever, so I don't know how much they really are, but let's say a fidget spinner's £3, and then someone turns around to you and said, this fidget spinner's going to cost you another £3 to have shipped to you. That's a hard pill to swallow, right? So, but if someone says, I'm buying it on eBay and it's like 95p, which is essentially the cost of a stamp, then, okay, yeah, all right, maybe I can consider that. That's a third of the cost, so there becomes a threshold, I think, where the customer becomes uncomfortable, and you have to be conscious of that. Now, ultimately, though, if your average order value is 10 fidget spinners, so £30, then, that £3 is now only a tenth of the cost, so maybe you can get away with it. So, definitely when you're thinking about it, give that some thought, right? Make sure that the shipping cost doesn't feel like a huge amount compared to the overall basket value. And then lastly, across a number of the sites we've run and tried here, we have found that customers are willing to purchase from yourselves or us when not offering free shipping, even if a competitor is. We have found that. We've also found that customers are willing to sometimes ignore the fact that the shipping is expensive in the grand scheme of things because either they don't care and they want the product, or ultimately that they haven't actually taken the time to consider that ratio, right? If your product's £3 and it's something simple, and the cost of shipping is like £2, well, the ratio is 66%, right? That's quite high. And you've done that analysis and you might feel bad, but the customer hasn't necessarily considered that. They've looked and gone, oh, it's £2, it's fine. I can handle the £2 shipping. So, yeah, just be aware the customer doesn't overanalyze everything perhaps as much as you do. So Rory's going to take us away with some pros and cons, but that kind of level sets the topic, I think. So, yeah, take us away, bud.
Yeah, that was perfect. Thanks for that, mate. And I think we were talking offline, weren't we, just a moment ago about what we've seen on some of our sites. And actually, although we've made the point there around how actually sometimes the customer doesn't care at all, I think you've got some strategies to talk about later where actually they yes is a positive converter. And I think it's really that not every customer shops exactly how you think they shop. They don't all shop exactly like you. Some people care. Some people really do care about the cost of shipping, etc., etc. Some people, they're really busy. They don't. The fact that they're spending an extra £3 on shipping, they just want the product. They don't care. So you have to trade. You have to trade these things off against each other. But we've actually seen. In fact, we've got 2 stores that are very, very similar on an online marketplace. Both of them do very, very well. One of them takes the complete opposite strategy, which is to charge for shipping. One doesn't charge for shipping, and we actually can't see a difference between the two of them. actually on the one that we charge for shipping, we end up actually making slightly more because the cost of shipping plus the product is slightly more than the total cost of the product on the site with free shipping. It's not much in it, so it's not a solid test, I would say, but it's just something to bear in mind. Actually, both strategies can work.
Yeah, and the other thing I would add there is it's no different than the concept of not everybody shops the same on Amazon, right? So we've had this discussion several times before, maybe we should turn it into an episode at some point, but some people jump on Amazon and the thought is, okay, right, I'm buying dishcloths, right? I'm just pulling random stuff out here, but I'm buying dishcloths, and so therefore I want the cheapest possible dishcloths I can get my hands on because I'm already a Prime member, so it's already free shipping, right? Well, not everybody does that. Some people will go, I don't want the most expensive per se, but I want a mid-priced product. I can get dishcloths for £3. Okay, well, yeah, but maybe I'm more comfortable with the £5 ones because maybe that gives me some sort of a feeling about the quality, whether or not that's true. But we have had that discussion, and I think shipping is exactly the same. Not everyone is always racing to the bottom, as I think the expression goes.
Yeah, that's a really good point, man. Cool. All right, I'm going to hit a couple of pros and cons here for you guys. So give you a bit of an idea of whether or not you weigh these up against your own business and work out whether or not you think they fit and whether or not you should offer some free shipping, essentially. So pros. So this is pros for having free shipping. Firstly, people have come to expect it in certain situations. I think, as Jake said off the bat, really that's been set there by essentially Amazon, really, and people really do expect it in some areas. Actually, I think I'm more forgiving personally of paying for shipping when I feel like the company's smaller. I don't know if you feel the same, mate. But yeah, it's certainly, if it feels like, somebody's personal business and it's, a family run thing, like you kind of don't, I'm more forgiving of it, I think, in my head.
100%.
The other thing is that it makes the kind of price and value statement a lot clearer. And what I mean by that is it's very easy if you're offering free shipping for the person in their mind to go, okay, the product is X. I instantly know how much it is. It's just very clear. Okay, I'm buying a t-shirt for £20. That's how much it is to me. They don't have to calculate in their head, well, when do I want it by? So then do I need expedited shipping, etc.? And how much then is it going to cost on top? So it makes that very clear. And linking on to that is this idea of not having surprises at the checkout. I don't know if you're the same as me, mate, where you kind of go to it, and it's similar to what I was saying at the beginning there about kind of forgiving smaller stores. If you go to a store that looks like it might be, this massive corporation, you go through it, you're almost expecting free shipping just because it happens to be in that, car parts, for example. And it doesn't really make it very clear anywhere as you're going through. It would if you went and deep dive into it, but you get to the checkout and all of a sudden, bang, £10 shipping. You're like, it can sometimes just turn you away, can't it? Just that kind of negative feeling of being surprised with it.
Yeah, 100%, dude. It's actually driven me to a weird habit that 9 times out of 10 when I hit a site, once I found out what I want, my next step is, before I even hit the checkout, is I'll go and check out the shipping policy.
Ah, okay. And I wonder,
it's a weird habit, but...
Yeah, I don't know how weird that is, though. I think actually people probably do that quite often, because it's just like, you spend all this time researching what it is that you want, and then all of a sudden, actually now the price is completely different because of the shipping. So another thing that's very much linked to that, these are very cascading, these pros, but essentially, no surprises at the checkout is one thing, but also it means that when somebody gets to the checkout, if they were expecting to pay for shipping and all of a sudden, oh wow, actually it's free shipping, I didn't notice the big banner that was across the top of the site saying free shipping, it's another positive converter, so hopefully it gets them across the line a little bit better. And the final one that I had here, I was just thinking about this the other day, was that actually it helps you compete against high street competitors. Normally you see your competitors as being your online equivalents when you're in the e-commerce space, but quite often you can be competing with the shops that are just down the road. I don't know, say you sell flowers, like fresh flowers. You're competing with the florist that's down the road. And by offering free shipping, you're kind of getting somebody over that hurdle of thinking, God, if I just walk down the road or, wherever it might be, I could get that, for free, the shipping part of it for free. So I think that really helps. So that's my pros. I've got a couple of cons here as well. So this is essentially the cons for having free shipping. I'm just reminding you what way round we're focusing. So inevitably with free shipping, you are raising the average cost of your product. So unless you're looking to make a loss, you are probably going to be baking the cost of the shipping into the product. Now, the issue is the way that you're going to have to work that out, you're going to have to look at how many of a certain product somebody buys. So essentially what it can end up doing is making your cheaper products look quite expensive, because depending on the risk that you're willing to take as a business, if you're to sell one widget at £5, $5, whatever it might be, and your shipping is £3 or $3, your average shipping, are you going to add that onto the product? So are you selling that product now for £8 or $8? Or are you going to take the risk that actually they might buy 2 or 3 other items as well in order that you can kind of spread that across? So you kind of have to look at that. It also means that for every unit the customer is purchasing, they are essentially purchasing the shipping again and again. So if you have decided, just going back to my example, that you're going to bake the cost of shipping into your product, so now you're selling it for $8. If the customer buys 4 of those, they've just paid £12 in shipping or $12 in shipping, because they've actually just paid for the shipping again and again and again and again. Now, actually, this is kind of part of the hidden cost of free shipping. I don't think that people have actually quite internalized that yet. So you can offer free shipping, and I think there's this magical thing that in people's heads, they just think it's actually free, or that you've got some really great deal with Royal Mail or UPS, whoever it might be, where actually they don't charge you. You've got this great business understanding. I think people kind of haven't really internalized that yet. So actually, you might get away with people not thinking they're paying for shipping over and over again. I personally think, I've put in brackets here my opinion, and I have to remind myself of that in the show notes because I don't want to talk about this as if it's a fact. But I actually think that potentially, I'll be interested to get your opinion on this, Jake. It reduces the average order value for a lot of people, because if I'm on a site and I see it's free shipping and I'm testing something out, right? It's, I don't know, I'm going to test out a new energy drink. If I see free shipping, I might just go for the single can, because I'm like, well, I'm just going to try it out and then I can go back. Whereas actually paying for shipping sometimes upsells me to buy more, regardless if there's, any kind of incentive to do that. Because I'm just like, God, if I like this product, I'm going to have to pay for shipping again.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, 100%. Like, at the end of the day, if it's free shipping and, I can get my hands on use your energy drink example. If I can buy a 6-pack of energy drinks, and that's the case that they're selling them in, not singles, but I can get my hands on a 6-pack and it's like £5, whatever, and that comes with free shipping, I'm going to just buy the one instead of, maybe I would have previously have bought, 2 or 3 to try and qualify for some free shipping, or even to try and make that shipping cost in my mind go, okay, well, it's now not just 6 cans I'm buying 12 or, 18. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. And I think the other thing as well, I know we didn't want to talk about returns in this episode, but just very, very briefly, I think it can potentially increase that idea of returns as well, because I think for whatever reason in your mind, when you're paying for shipping, you think about your risk associated with that purchase. So all of a sudden you think about that as more of a commitment to it. It's like, right, I've paid £3, and no matter what, even if I give it back, whether they take free returns or not, whatever it might be, they're not giving me that £3 back because the shipping's gone. So it very much makes you more invested in the purchase, I think. Cool. The last one that I had down here then, dude, for cons is actually thinking about if you had a product that you're actually looking to stock in a physical location one day. So say you're actually creating your own brand of products, you're not just sort of reselling other people's products. Maybe you want to put that in a location one day, whether it be your own location or you want to do, consignment somewhere. It can really affect the chances of success in that physical location, because if a lot of the time people validate things online, don't they? If they're in a store or whatever, they kind of go and have a look, or if they're going to a store to go and pick something up, they have a look online. And if it's free shipping online, well, what's the point in me hopping in the car and going down to the store to go and see it? So, you kind of potentially damaging the potential goodness that you might have of moving something to a physical location. So you might have to account for that in your pricing, for example. It might be cheaper at the physical location, whatever it might be, but you really do need to think about that as well. Cool. So that probably wraps me up for pros and cons, mate. Did you have anything to add to that?
I just think on that last one, I think that one really has to become a whole strategy discussion, because if that's your own physical location, your costs are pretty uniform with what your online costs are, apart from your delivery fee, right? That you're going to have to cover with Royal Mail or DPD, whoever it be, right? But if you're selling that, I don't know, you're selling it to a big multinational store or a supermarket, right? They are purchasing that at a reduced cost. So, you have to kind of work out where you are. Is it more expensive in the store, or is it cheaper in the store versus your online website? Because whoever's selling that, if that isn't your store, they've not paid retail. They are paying a reduced wholesale cost, right? So yeah, whole strategy discussion there. So give that some thought. So we're going to talk about a couple of shipping alternatives and strategies here. Maybe strategies might be an oversell on the first one, but yeah, something to think about when you're offering free shipping. So, typically when you see free shipping, it normally is free shipping in XYZ. So it'll be free UK shipping, which is great if the site has got a specific locale to it. Gymshark, good example. You can go onto the gymshark.co.uk site, and there's also a US version, right? So that's got a locale, so they can be a bit more, shall we say, bold with their statements. Free shipping, well, because you're on the UK store, so that's how that works. But if you're shopping a site that doesn't have its own specific locale, which therefore means it doesn't have different products, different pricing already built in, then ultimately you have to be aware that, especially if you're shipping from one location, if you're offering free worldwide shipping, you have to be careful that, if it's going to cost you $10 to ship something to the UK and you're US based, you've got to account for the fact that that is your worst case scenario, which, does have potential implications on local customers. So, you might offer free shipping, but that means your prices are slightly higher because you're having to account for UK prices or shipping to the UK for free versus, someone that's local. Maybe you could have charged £3 for shipping, or $3 for shipping. So worldwide, if you're going to offer free worldwide shipping, just be careful, really give some thought to what that most expensive cost is. Now, these next two are kind of almost the same, but a different spin on how you would do them. So you can offer a multi-buy discount. So buy two of this and get a third one free. And when you get a third one, right, that's how you're basically recouping your free shipping costs, right? So you can kind of combine these strategies if you want to. So, you can have buy two, get a third one free, and also over a certain value get free shipping, right? So you could combine this strategy and the next one. So yeah, offering a multi-buy discount, although it might seem weird as a way of offering free shipping, it's a way to incentivize a higher average order value, and therefore by accruing a higher average order value, you're able to absorb some more of that free shipping cost, right?
Yeah, no,
Next
I might just
Oh, go on, bud. Go on.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I might just even add, just as a little like finisher on that one, is that, you know, going back to what I talked about earlier about how if somebody, you know, has actually internalized the idea of free shipping and has worked out that actually they are paying for it over and over again, that might get them across the line. So if you are offering free shipping, you can offer this bundle discount or, you know, multi-buy discount, whatever you want to call it. And now all of a sudden that person that was thinking, God, I was paying for shipping 3 times over, actually is now thinking, well, I'm not, because if I buy 3 of these products, they're going to be discounting it by that additional cost of shipping.
That's a really good point, to be fair. It's kind of a way to give back to your customers a little, right? Of, you know, like, look, we're not trying to screw you here. It's, you know, we're not only going to give you a third item free, we're going to, you know, give you the free shipping, or we're going to give you a reduction on that third item, and we're throwing in free shipping. So, yeah, definitely a great shout. The next one would be a free shipping threshold. You know, so we have tried not offering free shipping. We have tried offering free shipping all in. We have tried offering free shipping above a certain low value. We have now moved and trying above a slightly higher value, and we are seeing, as a general rule, actually, you know, I can't say one is better than the other from a conclusive perspective, but we are not seeing a huge difference in the measures. And actually, I would argue right now, I am definitely more comfortable where we are. We've upped it slightly. You know, we've offered our free shipping threshold to be a slightly higher value, and I think we're seeing actually, you know, a benefit from that. You can use that as a way of boosting your average order value. And so the simplest way to work out where your free shipping threshold is you should take your average order value. So let's say that's $20 or £20, and then you add an additional. You know, the overall rumor is 5 to 15%. So let's just call it simple, nice 10%. Add 10% to that. And what that's going to do is that's going to help you slowly creep up your average order value, hopefully. And also that's then going to help provide that free shipping threshold as a way of rewarding those customers that buy the most on your store, you know, not just those that come in and buy, because that's what you've got to remember. Average order value is going to be the average of the most expensive purchases and the lowest purchases averaged out. So you're rewarding, I would argue, the top 50-ish% of customers with the free shipping. So that's the way to kind of give that some thought there, right? You know, you can use free shipping, you know, essentially if the product is a high price, you know, it is high value, then there could be a chance that it's also a heavy weight. And you have to be cautious of that, because that heavy weight might have, you know, a high shipping cost. So what you can do in cases like that is you offer, you know, a free shipping up until, you know, a certain, you know, above a really high threshold. So it might be £400, depending on, you know, what your average order value is. But up until that point, you might be able to say, all right, the true cost of shipping is 70 quid for this product. Well, let's just charge the customer 20. We can cover 50. You don't have to, you know, it's not all in. You know, you don't have to pass the costs directly onto the customer, and you don't have to pass none of the costs on. Feel comfortable, you know, absorbing some and then passing some on. So, or lastly, option is you just charge for shipping. So, yeah. Anyway, let's wrap it up. I think we're just running just over into the 25-minute mark. So, yes, thank you for joining us. Going to hand it back to Rory to take us out.
Perfect. Cheers, mate. And I think just on that last one, I always have to add a little bit to the last one. I can't help myself. On the just charge for shipping thing, I was actually purchasing some Ray-Bans for Harry the other day. So my brother, for context for everyone, sorry, sometimes I forget that we're talking to a wider audience than just each other. I was buying some Ray-Bans for my brother the other day because he was worried about ordering the right ones, whatever. So I was ordering them for him, and then he was paying me back. They were charging £8 for shipping on the Ray-Ban website, and that wasn't even next day shipping. That was for like essentially, I think it was like 4 or 5 days it was going to take to get to him. And luckily we had a promo code for like free shipping or whatever it might have been, and maybe that's a strategy they're using, making you think, God, I've saved £8. But if I'd paid £8 for shipping for a light object like that, I mean, I'd probably want it to arrive 20 minutes later, it's it's certainly an interesting
buy
strategy.
a drone.
Yeah, 100%.
I want it to come by a drone and be dropped into my hand at £8 for an object that small.
Mate, I want Mr. Ray-Ban to come round to my house and deliver it to me personally in his Rolls Royce.
And to clarify there, right, I get grumpy when they try to charge me like £8 to £20 for, if you go on Currys or AO or whatever, like big electronic stores, and you're buying like a fridge freezer or, we're talking large items, right? Even a sofa. I get grumpy when they try to charge me anything around the £8 to £10 mark on that. So something as small as a pair of Ray-Bans, oh, mate, I don't know if I'd have let you live that down.
100%. No, I thought I'd keep it quiet, but then I had to tell you for this episode. Cool. All right, mate. So we have run a little long, but actually I think we're doing quite good. 25 minutes. So thank you very much for joining us, everyone. Please, please, please like, subscribe, even write us a comment. It would really help us out. It would make sure that we're continuing to give you content and kind of helps us justify the time that we're putting into this. So it would really help. As I said at the top of the episode, we are offering a discount on our coffee, so it's 15% to our listeners using the code podcast15. I know if you're on YouTube, that doesn't sound about right, but remember, we are also posting these to podcasts, so it's worth just remembering. We will post that code into the footer of the show notes and the description, so you can easily get it. But we'd love to see you come to our site, which is caffeinate.co.uk. CAFFIN, the number 8.co.uk. Cheers, everyone.